How do you want to approach these couple of weeks of practice that you have? Is it really getting ready for this specific game, or do you want to look towards getting some younger guys some reps that maybe they wouldn't get?
Win the game. Okay. Everything about to win the game.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Tigers Roar. I'm Tommy Krysan along with Jordy Hultberg. Merry Christmas to everyone out there as the Santa Claus is not that far from flying around, huh?
Happy holidays, absolutely, yes.
So
win the game, baby. Win the game.
The January 1 game against Notre Dame. So LSU's back on the practice field. We got some stuff from that. However, a breaking story today out of LSU, the general manager of the football operations, Austin Thomas, has left to assume a position at the University of Tennessee. So he was a key part of Ed Orgeron's staff, a key part of the recruiting end of the organization. Remember, he went to Southern Cal for a couple of months, 2 years ago. LSU wooed him back with a big, not a real big contract, but a contract. Now he's leaving again.
Yeah, they had gotten him a pay raise from his normal contract that was just passed. But I guess the lure of going back home, he's a Tennessee alum. Grew up around the Nashville area. That's a big blow to Ed Orgeron. So Austin Thomas did an awful lot of stuff as far as recruiting was concerned, setting up visits, setting up where the coaches go, a whole bunch of things under his umbrella. He's a riser in the profession. There's no question about that.
Well, you know, it's safe to say there are going to be some changes on the LSU coaching staff. They have not replaced Pete Jenkins yet. They've not filled that position.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Meatball is.
Well, no, but they still have to add a coach.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, they moved Tommy Robinson into that.
Dennis Johnson into the defensive line coach.
But they still get, and then on January 10th, like all schools, they can hire another assistant.
Correct.
That whole Matt Canada rumor or conversation has died down. As we sit here now, it looks like he's back, but you still got Austin Thomas to replace the position created by Pete Jenkins retiring. So Coach Orgeron, at a busy time of recruiting, bowl game preparation, staff organization, he doesn't have enough hours in the day.
That was not a good call or a good meeting for Ed Orgeron, because I know how much he valued Austin Thomas, and LSU valued him, and how much they're going to miss him. Tennessee got themselves a good one.
Yeah,
no question.
You know, of course, they did hire Jeremy Pruitt. They finally got all that taken care of, who's got a pretty good pedigree with him. Back to LSU on the practice field this week. Arden Key, Donnie Alexander did not practice in the initial
first day
practice. Right. So that whole Arden Key, that's just been a mystery.
You know, with everything that's never, that comes out, people find things out. That's one of those things, boy, they have kept it close to the vest. Whatever it was that made him leave for personal reasons, I've got to hand it to LSU. They've really done a good job covering that up.
I've heard what happened, not for me to say now because I've never been able to verify it, but I
hear all kind of things, but nothing.
No, and I mean, I've heard something that's really out there as being the reason. I'll just say that, and it wouldn't be fair for me to say it because I don't know it to be fact. So, but that whole story has been a mystery, even going back into last year and before the personal reasons departure. But
we'll see if he plays. Well, Notre Dame has two really good offensive linemen who make about every All-American team that's out there. Does Arden Key need to play in the game to improve his draft status? I don't believe he does. I think there's enough tape on him for NFL scouts to say, we know what this guy can do, and somebody wants him and wants him pretty early in the draft. I would imagine.
A couple other things that are floating out there. Darius Geis, not 100% certain that he's heading off to the NFL yet. At least that's what's being said. And Coach Orgeron said they haven't discussed it. But, you know.
If you understand Darius Geis's background, wouldn't that lead you to believe that he needs to go to the NFL and get some money to take care of his loved ones?
Right, yeah. No, I think he will opt to go to the NFL, but maybe, you know, some of these Tiger fans hanging on that thread that he may come back. If he came back, that would be great for the team.
That would be great. I'm not betting the house on that one.
And, of course, the Citrus Bowl will be on Monday, January 1. down in Orlando. That's a noon kickoff for those of you watching it here in Louisiana. And do want to point out that the Pelican Sports postgame show will be that Wednesday night, January 3rd at 8 o'clock live with Buddy Sanji and I, taking your phone calls and your text messages because January 1, you got all the games, including the semifinals, and we'll get a preview to those two matchups a little bit later in today's program. So it's January 1. It's Notre Dame LSU warming everybody up for the Rose Bowl, which is Georgia, Oklahoma, and then the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans between Clemson and Alabama.
Great day. You told me what Overton's is, and I forgot.
It's a boating marine supply type company that's kind of affiliated with Camping World, which that's the name on the stadium down there in Orlando.
Okay.
So are you going to Orlando, sir?
I am not.
Nor am I.
I'm going to be watching all of the games and getting in one last big push before the January 2nd diet takes place.
The Mr. Hultberg diet takes
you're
place.
Be amazed.
I need to be on one too.
You're going to be amazed when you see me in a month.
Mr. Chrisand diet needs
in
to
a
be
month. You're going to be amazed
as well. So anyway, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And of course, Will Wade.
Look like Alan Traylor. He's lost a lot of weight.
Yes, he has.
He looks good.
Will Wade's basketball team playing Houston as we speak. Obviously, we don't have a final score now. That's a tough challenge. But basketball getting ready to have a couple of home games, and we're not that far away from them opening up conference play.
And the league is good. A&M is good. Florida's lost a couple, but they're good. You know Kentucky's going to be good. Tennessee's getting better. It's a good league. Alabama, Mississippi State, good basketball in the SEC. LSU plays Stephen F. Austin Saturday at noon in Pete's Palace. That's another good team that seems to always make the tournament. So some good competition to get them right, and they can score with anybody. They're having a tough time on the defensive side stopping people because they just don't have much size.
Got a couple of high school football items for you. We want to back up to last week, the Prep Classic in the Louisiana Superdome, where they
really
crowned 9 state champions, which is like 4 or 5 way too many. But anyway, we want to tip a hat to all the coaches and teams that made it to the Dome. That's a goal of all high school football teams. And they had 3 games Thursday, 3 games Friday, 3 games Saturday, as we take a look at the results of those games and tip our hat to the state champions that took place, like I said, last week in the Superdome. You had Lafayette Christian knocking off Ascension Catholic. Catholic New Iberia, they got beat 37-0 by Notre Dame earlier in the year. They flipped that around, win 33-16. U High, they've got 19 of 22 starters returning, and they took care of your Cavaliers of De La Salle, 45-19. Catholic of Baton Rouge, defense.
Okay, can I ask you something? Okay, finish
beats
that.
John Curtis by a score of 20-14. First John Curtis graduating class not to win a state championship. And then over in the non-select, West St. John beat Kentwood. Welsh beat St. Helena. West Feliciana beat Richwood. Edna Carb knocked off previously undefeated Lakeshore. And Zachary, Coach David Brewerton. The Brew, he takes care of Coach Salt and Hanville 34-14.
All right, I'm watching Catholic and Curtis, and I've never seen a play like this in my life. It's 4th down, and Curtis is punting the football. They punt to Catholic. The Catholic high receiver muffs the punt. The ball's on the ground. The ball's going. Curtis recovers it in the end zone. They rule it a touchback, and Catholic High gets the ball in the 25. And I'm not saying that's going to be the difference in the game. I've never seen a play like that before in my life.
What that is Louisiana plays by the National Federation of High School Football rules. And that's one of those quirks in that rule book. And the refs got it right, actually.
I know. How did he?
But it faked out the fans. It faked out you. It faked out members of the media.
How is that not a fumble recovery in the end zone for a touchdown?
It's considered a muff by the National Federation rules.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Is what it is, I guess. Hey. Now, also on the high school football stage, coming up this Saturday in Baton Rouge, it's the 16th annual Red Stick Bowl. Greater Baton Rouge area, all classifications are represented. It'll be at Olympia Stadium, which is a Breck facility. The 16th annual Red Stick Bowl, it'll be the Black Knights and the Rattlers, kicking off at 2 o'clock. Now, you'll be able to watch it right here on Pelican Sports TV Saturday evening at 6:30, and then numerous replays throughout the holiday season as we do each and every year. Pelican Broadcasting happy to be a part of the 16th annual Red Stick Bowl. Coach Barrett Murphy, Coach Dennis Lorio, Mr. Eddie Pleasant, many people do so much hard work. the Breeze Dream Foundation, and the United States Army, the major corporate partners there. So if you're looking for a little football this Saturday afternoon, again, it's a 2 p.m. kickoff at Olympia Stadium. It'll be on TV that evening, 6:30, right here on Pelican Sports TV. So get on out there and support the Red Stick Bowl. It usually draws a really big crowd, guys from all classifications, a lot of coaches. How
many practices do they get in to kind of keep this thing organized?
5 or 6. Okay. I mean, it's a good thing. They get fed every night. It's a really, Coach Murphy and them have been working hard for this long time. I want to say former Mayor Bobby Simpson started this game.
Didn't they used to do it Louisiana against Texas?
No, that was a different
It's a whole different thing, okay.
But this one here has really grown and evolved, and they have put dozens and dozens of guys into the junior college and college ranks. And they also have a roster of guys who have played in the Red Stick Bowl and made it to the NFL, now that they've been around for a little while. So we look forward to being at Olympia Stadium Saturday. You need to be out there as well. We're going to take a break, come back, and keep moving it forward right here on this week's edition of Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, and on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Stay with us. Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including Optimap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment, 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source.
6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm back. Roger Cador here. Come watch Clarence Bugs and I as we team up to bring up all of the positive things taking place at Southern University in the state of Louisiana. It can all be seen on the Pelican Sports. That's the best one. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's the best one.
Hi, I'm Jordy Hultberg for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com. Sports TV's Tigers Roar. We remind you about the radio station WUBR. Get the app. WUBR still on TuneIn, home of the Jim Rome Show. Local radio lineup includes the gentleman on my left, Jordy Hultberg, Mr. Buddy Sanji, Dave Scandaliato on Fridays, Ken Trahan's prep report. Final one was last week. Carlos Brown, this Saturday, programming note for you. He will go 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. He's in Atlanta to go to the Celebration Bowl, so make a mental note, and we'll remind you on Facebook and Twitter, and Carlos will promote it as well. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. this Saturday. And on the weeknights through the evenings and into the night, the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame radio hosted by Mike Shepard, playing a lot of Christmas music for you right now. Mr. Hultberg, tell folks about your other radio shows.
We are in Acadiana and in New Orleans. You see it right there, 103.7 FM The Game, Sports 1280 in New Orleans, Monday through Friday, 2 till 4 p.m. And like you say, it's on all the apps, 103.7.com and sports1280.com. So there's all kind of ways you can listen to it. That's a pretty good graphic there.
There you
Who's
go.
that mug on the right? Jeez.
I don't know, but there you go. It's check it all out. A lot of the radio stuff, so much of that now.
Busy days.
LSU back on the practice field. They get 15 workouts. I think that includes whatever they do when they get down to Orlando. And Coach Ed Orgeron met with the media to go over a lot of things. Media was allowed in for a portion of the practice, so obviously a few more questions than had they not been allowed in.
He's using these first. They're going to practice. They practice Tuesday. They'll practice Wednesday. They'll practice Thursday. He's going to use those 3 days to kind of do some self-evaluation, like a spring game. They're working on fundamentals, working on getting back in shape. Then they'll take the weekend off. It's a big weekend for LSU football. They have as many as 15 official visits on hand for the weekend as they make the push for December 20th, and they're trying to sign as many of the 20 commits as they can at that time. But then next week, they'll start to turn their attention to the scout team, Notre Dame, and getting ready for the game. But so it's kind of a process where we're going to get ourselves better. We're going to work on some fundamentals, get in shape. Next week, we'll pay our attention to the Fighting Irish.
All right, without any further ado, Coach Ed Orgeron after the initial practice bowl preparations for the LSU football Tigers.
Meeting yesterday at 3 o'clock. Most of our coaches were on the road recruiting. Obviously, still a contact period. We're balancing practice and recruiting. Guys ran yesterday, just conditioning. We had an organizational meeting yesterday. Today we had a regular Monday practice without pads, but a little bit longer. A slight introduction to Notre Dame, but less corrections. First Texas A&M. We watched the film. Texas A&M today, watched the special teams, made the corrections, which I believe that are very important. And tomorrow, we're going to have a spring practice type of day. We're going to work on ourselves, just a sprinkling of Notre Dame, more or less a fundamental practice in pads. And we're going to do the same thing on Wednesday. And the guys are going to have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. The coaches at night are going recruiting during home visits, and some of them are going during the day, so we balance in both of them. We have a very big weekend this weekend. Official visitors, I don't think the number's up to 12, maybe a little bit more. And then obviously Sunday's a dead period, so recruiting is going to end for us. And then next week we'll focus totally on Notre Dame.
Is this the first time you watched the A&M tape?
Say again?
Is this the first time y'all watched the A&M tape?
Oh, we had all watched it. We had all watched it as coaching staff.
Okay.
And we had watched it with this is the first time watching the kids.
So they've really been out of it for a while. How did they come back? Were
They were great.
Eager?
Great focus, great. And I'm sure most of them had watched it and received their grades, but we just wanted to make sure that we went back to the basics and covered the mistakes that we made in the game.
And how tough is it this week to balance everything?
I like it myself. Especially when I go to one home and there's some gumbo with potato salad. And I went to the next home and it was the best red beans and rice and fried chicken and cornbread I'd ate in a long time. So get some bigger pans, but besides that, it's gonna be fun. But I like it, I enjoy it. I think that the early signing period is gonna be an advantage for us. We may sign from 15 to 20 guys, and then we can zero in on the last 5. Our coaches have done a tremendous job of recruiting. The in-home business has been fantastic, and we'll see what happens.
How do you approach that? Because there's been some talk that because they have the option, the 3-day window, that if they don't sign, Have you guys talked about that? Maybe pulling the offers?
Yeah, we're discussing it with our guys, and we tell them the pros and cons. Obviously, it's their choice. We feel that many of our guys will sign, but signing day is going to come. I'm sure there'll be surprises. But then it opens up the window to see how many scholarships you have left, what positions you need to fill. So I think that the last part of recruiting is going to be more junior recruiting for us, targeting the guys, the big-time guys that haven't signed yet, and really focusing on them.
How is the early period going to change how you handle the last couple weeks of January?
Yeah, more junior recruiting. Yeah, obviously more junior recruiting.
Are you already starting to do that now?
Oh yeah, for sure.
How is that kind of process going?
Good. You know, usually if we're in an area where there are junior recruits, obviously you can't contact them, but it's an evaluation period. So we have, especially in Louisiana and the surrounding areas, Dallas and Houston, we've done a great job of junior recruiting. We hit most of those guys once a week.
How do you want to approach these couple of weeks of practice that you have? Is it really getting ready for this specific game, or do you want to look towards getting some younger guys, some reps that maybe they wouldn't get?
Win the game. Okay. Everything about to win the game. And this week is going to be focusing on us. The next week we're going on a total week game plan for Notre Dame, and then we're going to repeat it the next week.
So what do you do towards 2018? For 2018, there's really nothing. You're going to wait for next year to get into that?
Well, as far as our players?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, those guys will get more reps. I may give them a couple of more reps at the end of the team period, but it's going to send the wrong message to our football team. This is all focused on winning the game. Is exactly what we did last year.
Do you feel like Arden Key is going to practice and play?
The Arden's questionable. He hasn't come around like, I thought he was going to come around. And he's questionable right now. He's not practicing, and he's questionable, and that's all I know about.
Everybody else?
Everybody seems fine.
So there'd just be a bigger role for
Kellerman and Ray Tharp. Both of those guys have played very well. I thought they played very well against Texas A&M.
Yeah, was it important to get Thornton those looks against Texas A&M?
Yeah, it was good, and give him some confidence. He and Kellerman rotated. In fact, Ray Tharp started. I thought both of them did very well.
Saw KJ out there practicing today. Is he cleared for contact?
Yeah, he's ready to go.
You have more than half the commits right now that y'all could sign next week or O-line, D-line.
Yeah.
How you talked about building in the trenches.
No question. It was the goal of this recruiting season to rebuild the lines. And obviously I can't talk about the guys that are committed, but we're very excited to have 5 defensive tackles committed and 4 offensive linemen committed, and they fit a big need position. And that doesn't mean we're going to stop now. But we went out there and I talked to Coach Grimes and Dennis Johnson. Both our line coaches did a tremendous job.
When they passed early signing day, you were not really for it. But now that you're in the middle of this, how are you enjoying it?
You have to adjust. And then now I'm seeing the advantages. I was going to look at it as a positive. You have to adjust. And now I need to see what goes on signing day, because obviously it's going to be a dead period. We have a big practice that day. And so we're going to be waiting by the fax machine early in the morning, calling guys late at night, and then working for practice. So it's going to be interesting.
What are the biggest benefits?
Excuse me?
What are the biggest benefits of this?
Well, I think that if you sign the number I expect to sign, it gives you time to target in on the big time guys and spend more time with them on a daily. You got one day to see them a week. You can go to school for the whole day and just hang out instead of go see 2 or 3 guys a day. And it gives you an advantage of junior recruiting, which we always said this year, 2019, is a great year in Louisiana. You can see by the review reports that are coming out.
Danny, good. I think the last time we talked, he had a hand deal. Played a pretty good game against Texas A&M.
Hey, Ed, John Battle, I know he was given a medical wrench. Do you think he's going to use it, come back? Or?
Yeah, I hope so. He had told me. I think most of the guys are going to talk to me after the bowl. Nobody that I know has made a clear decision or come spoke to me anyway.
You think they'll wait that long? Until after the bowl game to decide?
I'm not sure he had told me that. I think that's what most of the guys are trying to do. They may have decided already, but just didn't tell me.
Yeah. Earlier this week, Darius tweeted or got into a tweet thing that he was definitely committed to the team, and that's one way that he's going to show it is playing in this bowl game. What does that mean, just for a guy to put any of those things to bed?
Yeah. And that's who he is, man. Darius loves football, and he's loved every day he walked in this room. I've never seen him down, and he wants to finish strong, and I'm sure he's motivated. And you know, a 10-win season for him would mean a lot for us. And I'm not sure that he's made a total decision if he's leaving or not yet. After talking to him, so we'll see.
Josh Adams, the running back for Notre Dame, is about the size of Leonard Fournette. Talk about tacked on a guy's size and speed.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. And their offensive line is very good, very physical. I watched the tape this morning. We're going to have to put some big backs there in practice. Practice tackling the defensive linemen, 7 to 8 times. That's what we do. And but it's going to be a challenge. He's going to make some yards. We're going to have to gang tackle him. The defensive line got to have first hit, but first of all, we have to get off the blocks. Their line is the best line we've seen. Notre Dame's line is very physical, they're big, and they're well coached.
Typically, when LSU faces teams from that area of the country, the speed advantage is in the Tigers' favor. Have you seen teams progress and kind of equalize themselves out with athletes now?
Yeah, they've done a good job recruiting. I mean, they have speed, and we'll see. I mean, that's a statement made all the time. We played Miami and Nebraska, and that would be said, but I don't know if there's that much of a difference anymore.
Ed, is there a chance you'll sign some Ole Miss transfers?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But, in recruiting, anything can happen. But as I know right now, no.
Have you had any coaches, people inquire about your staff, or anybody say that, that this is
nothing I know of yet. Guys, everything's been pretty quiet.
What's your thought on adding grad transfers in general? Just the
if in a need, would be great. It'd be awesome. We're always looking for transfers, and grad transfers especially. But the 3 transfers we got last year, I'm telling you, I'm so impressed with Braden, Jonathan Giles, and Moss. Those guys are excellent. Jonathan caught a couple of balls today and raised a couple of eyebrows up there. Braden has been unblockable all camp.
Got graduation on Friday. Just what does it mean to have these guys now routinely graduate early? Some of them, going for master's degrees.
That's what it's all about. It makes a difference. That's why we coach, to give them an education. We love football, but without my education, for sure I wouldn't be standing here. Many of us wouldn't be in this room, and we'd be in other places. And I think that I tell my story to those guys and how much graduation means, and networking. You meet the right people to help you connect the dots to wherever you're going to go. And number one is getting that diploma.
Hey, you're going to end up signing a few JUCO guys.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you mentioned you wanted to pull some in. You obviously got a few commit. I know you can't talk about it specifically, but overall.
Fit a need. It's got to fit a need. Or just be a player that's off the charts. But obviously we had some needs. We went out and filled them, and we did a tremendous job of it. And, JC guys are important to us. Everywhere I've been, I've always recruited JC guys. And obviously, you want them to come in and play. And those guys that we're recruiting would think they come in and play.
What is the advantage there? It's kind of like a free agent. You can slot them.
Yeah, they know too. They see your depth chart. They know where your needs are, and they watch you play and say, you know what? Hey, there's a place I can play.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys, have a good day.
We continue with Tigers Roll. We're going to take a little break, come back. Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, will join us, get us the very latest on recruiting. We're a little over a week away.
Yeah. Big day.
A little less than a week from.
No bash?
Well, no bash for this is the early signing period, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. There's a lot of talk here and there. You just got to let it happen and then decide.
If this gets to be big and they start signing 20, and there'll be a bash.
We got practice that day. Won't be no bash. No, it won't be no bash.
There'll be a bash.
We'll take a break, come back. Don't go anywhere.
Bash
Recruiting
is over.
info. Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com is up next. Stay with us.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, HardiePlank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
We continue with Tigers Roar, and a man who's very, very busy with the early signing period around the corner is Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com. Mike, good evening. How are you today?
Hey, doing great.
Hey, Austin Thomas has left LSU as the general manager, key part of the recruiting part of the operation. Your thoughts on learning that Austin Thomas has left LSU?
Well, you know, for several years, particularly as he became more prominent, last year signing 2 5-star prospects, you know, him being in the Rivals' top 20 recruiters in the country because of getting the 2 5-stars out of Tennessee in last year's class, which was a new thing for Rivals because usually it has to be a staffer, but because he was designated as one partially and able to recruit and do in-homes because of the way things were set up, you know, when Orgeron first got the job, he qualified for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought then, I said, you know, this is really setting up well that if there's ever a regime change in Knoxville, you know, he's setting the table for an opportunity to go home. Whether they offered him more money, and plus just being able to go home. And sure enough, it's happened. You know, he would never want to go home if you're going to be a part of Butch Jones's program,
right?
Because he's been on the hot seat for multiple years in a row.
Yeah.
But now the Pruitt's there, fresh start, getting close to home. He's got they have a young child, and
I'm curious. I'm curious,
you can
Mike.
see where it makes sense. And then there's also been rumblings about pay and that sort of thing.
Well, Mike,
that's kind of been one of the dirty little secrets amongst LSU. While coordinators and stuff and some staffers are the highest paid in the country, inside the building, LSU's been notoriously cheap at times.
I'm very curious, since Austin Thomas was the first of his kind. He was the first, quote, general manager of a college football team. Where does LSU go from here to fill that very important role? Because Austin did a whole lot of everything for Ed Orgeron.
And look, that's where guys like him have problems justifying their salary, because it's not like he can point to everybody else that holds a general manager position inside the SEC and say, see, that's what I should be getting paid. They all have different titles, and the ones that do have the exact same title, that do similar duties, don't all do the same things within the program.
Mm-hmm.
One guy might be in charge of running football camps in the summer. The other guy might not have much of a hand in doing that. Another guy's setting up the junior days and reaching out to recruits and does all that sort of thing. And whereas another guy does that, but not as much. It very much varies. I know Austin was a real big part of video, and he wanted to be more in the player evaluation. But yeah, I don't know how much of what they would have had to have done to keep him at this point. Trying to get some more information to see if, or it was just a deal where the overriding factor for Austin was he and his wife wanted to get back home to Tennessee and be close to family and in-laws and support base with children.
Is there someone on the staff that Ed Orgeron could elevate as from an assistant position to Austin Thomas's role?
That's a good question. I'm unaware of who that might be.
Okay.
Mike, we're all about to experience the early signing period for the very first time. I know it's got you very busy. It's got student athletes busy, coaches busy. We're a week away, basically less than a week if people are catching a replay of this. What's the latest you're hearing? And talk about the big weekend of visits for LSU the weekend before the early signing begins, Wednesday, December 20.
Well, looking at about a dozen official visitors. And all the official visitors are kids who are already committed to LSU.
Okay.
So, a lot of this recruiting class, the hay's in the barn. With 20 commitments, you can fill in the blanks. Terrace Marshall, wide receiver. Justin Watkins, wide receiver. Already got Traore committed last week, along with Livingston, the defensive lineman. That was refreshing to see 2 days in a row where you had an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman commit. But then you go to Kelvin Joseph from Scotlandville, Patrick Surtain, and then you start saying, okay, well, that right there brings you to 24. We haven't even mentioned Glenn Beal yet. But that brings you to 25. So where's there room for a quarterback? James Foster, who's supposed to visit in January. Harold Joyner, the running backs, who they've still pursued. Does that mean that he doesn't have a spot? There's a couple of kids here that they're playing the game, but in reality they want to be at LSU. Might be in their best interest to go ahead and commit, because I can see where there's 2 or 3 kids that we talk about and there's no room for.
And the same thing's going to happen at other schools Again, we don't know what's going to happen because it's the first time everyone's experiencing this, but there could be some chaos between the early signing period and the traditional first Wednesday in February.
Yeah. And, yeah, and the thing about it is the 25, it's like, okay, let's say there's a commitment on the board right now that they're unsure that's going to qualify. Well, it's not like they can, in years past, where you could say, well, we're not going to let them sign a national letter of intent because that'll count against our 25, and then we'll be able to carry it over. Well, you can't carry over a spot you didn't use anymore. Your 25 is your 25, and that's it. And if you sign 23, all that does is affect your 85, and then you're able to, use it to give a walk-on a scholarship later in the year, or if you happen to have a graduate transfer, you'll have a spot on your 85 for them. But as far as anybody coming out of a junior college or a high school, if you got 25 spots to give and you only use 22 or 23 of them, well, then they go bye-bye because you don't get to carry them over to next year and go 27 or 28.
Which used to be the case. You could do that. So, hey, the coaches have to know what's going on, and they're all tackling it for the first time.
If there's a kid that's, it used to be where you would sign a kid, and if you were kind of unsure, you would let them sign a national letter of intent. Well, then that stopped years ago, and then you would decide not to let them sign the national letter of intent because you didn't want it to count against your total. Because if they sign and didn't qualify, they still count against your number as far as in the NCAA's eyes. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but.
Mike.
Some of these kids, when I'm playing the scenarios in my mind, it's like, well, it's not like I can tell that kid that it's too late because he's a Louisiana kid and he's at that particular high school, and you certainly don't want to play that game with that school. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, I don't know. I don't think LSU can afford to not sign a quarterback in the short term or the long term, unless something pops up that nobody's really talking about. Is it possible that we get into February and they haven't signed a quarterback?
It looks like it could be a possibility.
Okay.
So then you have to be wondering, okay, do they have a graduate transfer up their sleeve that we're not talking about right now?
That's what I'm saying. There may be a story out there that will surface later.
Right.
And of course we don't know that. We're speculating, and I'm sure teams across the country have all got that position or two that they don't.
You look at the success rate that schools have had with graduate transfers, and you almost, and I haven't dove into the numbers yet, but it sure does look like those guys are a lot more successful than signing them right out of high school.
I would agree with that, or just thinking about it very quickly there as well.
Yeah.
Mike, tell us what's happening at TigerBait.com, what people are going to get when they subscribe, and how they can use that as a holiday gift.
Yeah, go to TigerBait.com. We've got it all for you: football recruiting, football coverage, our bowl practice coverage. Will Wade and the LSU basketball team, we're following that tremendously. So if you're an LSU fan, give yourself a Christmas gift and get yourself a TigerBait.com subscription. We'll be glad to have you.
Hey, Mike, I know you're very busy. Appreciate your time. We'll visit again soon.
Hey, anytime. Thanks for having me. Talk soon, guys.
All right, that's Mike Scarborough with his usual good job. Jordy, I'm sensing more and more chaos is going to erupt, not just for LSU, but other people, just because they're shooting in the dark here. They don't know what.
Well, it's not like they're the only team. Nobody really knows. But I think it's going to put a lot more. I'm in favor of it, because I think it takes pressure off of kids. If you're committed and you know where you want to go, get it over with. Where it gets tricky is if you're not sure and you haven't made up your mind. Now what happens? Is there going to be a spot for you in February or not? So
okay, well, I'm going to put you in. You were heavily recruited coming out of De La Salle. Knowing what you know now, when you look back, I mean, were you in a hurry to get it over with? You kind of were always thinking LSU, I know, but you were heavily recruited by other schools across this country. So I'm asking you, do you recall wanting to get it over. I know a guy that you know very well, Carlos Zuniga, who couldn't stand the recruiting process. He used to go to the morning movie at the theater and sit there and watch the same movie for 4 or 5 times just so people couldn't find him. He didn't handle it well back then. He's a great guy, and he was a great ball player. So were you glad to get it over?
When the time came, I was glad to get it over, but I enjoyed the process, and we handled it differently. We went through my coach, Dwayne Reboul, and that's how we got all these things funneled. I have boxes of letters and all that kind of fun stuff, but it was such a different world back then. It's like comparing apples to oranges now. You know, there was no internet. They didn't have all these scouting services or anything like that. They would come to your games and watch you play.
Right.
And that's how they found out about you.
They didn't really come to their practices like they
did.
now.
They did go to practices.
For you, you were on the higher level.
They did go to practices.
But the marginal recruit, they just said, okay.
No. So I kind of enjoyed it, but I wasn't one of these guys that I had like 85 scholarship offers, which is pretty much I would think. But but I don't know. It just some of these kids are going to find themselves on the outside looking in. You mark my word. They're gonna. I thought, I committed to LSU, but I didn't sign.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll the dice and see what happens.
And now they found somebody else in my position, and I'm looking around somewhere else to go.
Well, and as Mike Scarborough a year ago, when this early thing was announced, he said, we have to wait and see the unintended consequences. And, when we get to mid-February, we'll be able to look back, December 20, 21, 22, February 7, and then we'll see what the NCAA and what the coaches vote to do going forward.
That guy that's in the top 10 in the country, he can wait till the springtime. But like somebody's going to have a spot for him.
I'll just make a hypothetical story here. I mean, there's going to be this wide receiver who says, well, I was committed, but I want to wait because so-and-so might open. And then all of a sudden, so-and-so grabs somebody else, and all of a sudden he gets to February 7th, and the first school says, we already filled that spot.
It really makes coaches and player evaluation become that much more significant.
And trust that relationship.
And you're building relations, but you got to evaluate that talent and see, because LSU wants to get more wide receivers. Well, what if all these wide receivers want to come? Oh, okay, well, who's first in our pecking order? Who's second? And so that's where the evaluation process becomes so important, and that's the role that Austin Thomas had such a valuable input in. So who they replace him with is of tantamount importance, in my opinion.
Yeah, we talked about recruiting being the most important thing, and you want to go beat Notre Dame in a bowl game. Now, filling this staff out is maybe elevated it'll never go above recruiting because it's always got to be about recruiting. But this just moved into second place on the list. No question about that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll give you a rundown of the bowl games. We've got a couple of bowl games in the state of Louisiana. We've got bowl games galore. We'll talk about all of that when we return with more of Tigers Roar. Don't forget, if you miss it on Wednesday night, the original airing date of the program, it's available on YouTube, mid-morning Thursday, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting, where you can watch it at your convenience. You can get a lot of stuff we do at Pelican, be it the Roger Kadar Show, Sports Shorts, Tigers Roar. Just check it out, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Chrysan. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Taste the feeling.
Wood Burners, serving South Louisiana since 1977, is a family-owned and operated company with over 30 years of experience. They're the fireplace experts, providing upscale products at an affordable price. Fireplaces, glass doors, wood stoves and stove chimneys, mantles, screens, gas logs, and tool sets. Visit online at woodburnersinc.com. Call 225-752-2590 or stop by 10510 Airline Highway in Baton Rouge.
Hi, I'm Roger Cador. I'm here to tell you about Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa. You won't find them on billboards, but you'll find them in the courtroom where real lawyers are. You see, billboards do not solve cases. Real trial lawyers do. So if you're hurt and need a lawyer, call 225-223-6333.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Once again, Merry Christmas to everyone out there. On behalf of Jordy, I'll speak for you there, myself, everyone at Pelican. Merry Christmas, and we hope 2018 is a great year for you.
Yes, indeed. Fingers crossed on that one.
We're in the holiday season. I've been at a couple of Christmas parties already happening and whatnot. Yeah, it's starting to happen. And, of course, we're playing Christmas music from the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame through the nights on the weeknights for you on the WUBR station. Help you get in the mood. Jordy, the other thing we have is bowl season.
It's time.
Tons of bowl games.
Too many.
All cranking up this Saturday. There's including the Red Stick Bowl. There's all kind of bowl games.
I can't keep track of the names of them anymore.
Well, they change. You know, there used to be when a bowl got a sponsor, it stayed there for a long time.
Shout out to Brandon Lander and company, the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl.
Yeah, you're just going to make more money, right?
Why not?
Well, so you got Grambling State playing in the Celebration Bowl against North Carolina A&T. That's a MEAC SWAC thing. Carlos Brown will be attending that game in Atlanta. And while we're on that,
who you got?
I will say that Carlos's radio show this week will be 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's a different time slot, but he's having to move it because of the accommodations he's got at the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. So Carlos will get you ready, set for that game Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Don't Tigers always beat Aggies?
Yeah, there you go.
So
Grambling State. We hope Grambling takes care of that one. Also, you got the New Orleans Bowl. ULL's not in it. Have they got a coach yet?
No, they have not.
ULL's not in it. That's the breaking story. But this Saturday at noon in New Orleans, obviously Troy, LSU fans remember
them well.
That squad, North Texas.
Johnny Jones's old joint, so there's a little tie-in there.
12 noon down in New Orleans if you want to check that out as well. Louisiana
Troy's
Tech.
going to win that one.
Troy will win, yeah. Louisiana Tech's going bowling. We'll have that game for you on the radio Wednesday night, the 20th.
They got a new coach at SMU, Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes, who used to coach at Louisiana Tech.
Yes.
So he gets
6 degrees of separation.
So Chad Morris of SMU, of course, went to Arkansas. So that's next Wednesday night. Starting at 5:30, you'll be able to hear that one on WUBR, as we've carried Bulldog football for quite a long time. And then, of course, you got the big bowl games, the college football playoffs, and the bowl games in New Orleans with the Sugar Bowl, which in the rotation is a semifinal game this year. Clemson, Alabama, a 7:45 kickoff, but they will push that back if the Rose Bowl's taking too long with their 3:30 kickoff or whatever it is.
You know, they came up with the Sugar Bowl Hall of Fame class, their first one.
The initial one.
The initial one, about 15 of them, not one LSU Tiger in that class. Now, they got some great ones in there, but LSU's been in a lot of Sugar Bowls. Billy Cannon was an MVP. Jamarcus Russell was an MVP. Justin Vincent was an MVP, and not one of them made it. Come on, Sugar Bowl.
What's going on with
Come
that?
on now.
I saw the list.
It's your hometown team. Come on, baby.
It didn't dawn on me until you just said it. I did
Not
see
one.
the list.
Archie's in there.
Archie Manning's
some great
on the list.
players. Doak, I mean, some great players in the
but
thing. So I'm
there's
not,
no
I'm
LSU
not complaining
Tigers?
about who you picked, but no Tigers? Really? Come on. Come on.
I mean, there'll be a flood of them next year.
Billy
huh?
Cannon, come on.
Yeah, I would think.
Come on.
Dr. Cannon should definitely be in there. And then, of course, once again, we want to remind you
Get your
about.
boy Ken Trahan on that case.
I'll call Ken.
Yes.
Want to remind you about the Red Stick Bowl. That'll be this Saturday afternoon, December 16th. It's the 16th annual on the 16th. You can't help but remember that. It's a 2 o'clock kick at Olympia Stadium, the Black Knights and the Rattlers. Now, the cool thing about this, it's a Greater Baton Rouge area high school all-star football game. You've got all schools from all classifications are represented. You've got a cross-section of coaches, managers. They're going to have different dance teams and bands from the local schools involved. It's a major event. And Coach Barrett Murphy, Coach Dennis Lorio, and many others work very hard. You'll be able, if you can't make it to the game, you'll be able to watch it that evening at 6:30 p.m. right here on Pelican Sports TV. You'll be able to check it out, and there'll be numerous airings throughout the holiday season. We've been involved with that game for a long time. I look forward to being involved with it this week, and get on out to Olympia Stadium, a Breck facility, this coming weekend.
You mentioned a lot of players going to college, a lot of players going to the NFL. What name stands out to you that has played in that game?
Brandon Bolden, the running back from Scotlandville, got to the NFL with the Patriots. I think he won a Super Bowl. He played in the Red Stick Bowl. I remember calling that game. I'm trying to think if there's been a few others.
Okay, well, that's a
that
good
maybe
start.
didn't, they didn't have the Red Stick Bowl when Todd McClure came out of Central High. It wasn't what it is now. So they've had some other defensive backs and wide receivers that had a quick cup of coffee. Very good. In the NFL. So we're looking forward to that.
And for some, it'll be the last game they ever play. So it'll be fun for them.
You know, we were talking earlier about the early signing period. That has affected this game a little bit. In some of my meetings with Coach Murphy, there were some players who were selected to play in the Red Stick Bowl. Coaches vote on this stuff. It's a big process. But the colleges they're committing them to want them on campus this weekend for the visit.
Good point.
And so they can't go play Saturday over at Olympia Stadium.
And they can't play it any earlier because the state championship
and
game
you can't play it any later because it's Christmas.
That's
so
right.
it is, again, that's just one of those little things. And look, I can tell you, from having been involved with this game for many years, these kids enjoy it. The parents enjoy it. We get lots of compliments at Pelican and people that are glad we're out there, glad to watch it on TV, and they get with Coach Murphy, maybe get a copy of the game, all that stuff. And it's a really well done, cool event. It really is. And if you like high school football, you might not know a kid playing, but bring the family out there Saturday. It'd be a good thing.
Got your game prep ready?
Yeah, I'll be calling the game along with Sean Nelson. We've done it for, I think, 12 of the 16 years.
A lot of names, a lot of info.
A lot of names, a lot of coaches, and lots of. They're going to be honoring Jimmy Taylor at the game.
Good.
So that'll be a special moment, no question about that. So
Doug Morrow was an MVP of the Sugar Bowl as well. I'm just saying, Allstate, come on. Sugar Bowl.
You know what? I may have
there.
to give you a homework assignment where you
No, I
can
don't
make
do
this
homework
list
anymore.
of people that should be in there.
I just gave you names.
Your staff.
I just gave you
the Jordy
names.
Hultberg Show staff.
I just
your
gave you
research
names.
department.
I mean,
you
come
got
on.
to get
Billy
Jim,
Cannon, Doug Morrow, come on.
Put Jim Nickel on it. Let him do a nickel report.
Boy, he's not cheap. He's not cheap.
More than a nickel?
He's a double nickel, man.
But anyway, so that's what we have there. Now, we've got some LSU players that have been recognized in this parade of awards that comes out. We've had some of the all-conference stuff. Now you're rolling into All-Americans, and there's a lot of All-American teams. Greedy Williams is a third-team All-American by the Associated Press. Good to know.
Maybe the biggest surprise of LSU season, how he emerged and became really really effective in the secondary. Nobody anticipated that.
Yeah, among the leaders with interceptions in the nation. You had several other people, including Dante Jackson from the Sporting News, second-team All-American cornerback.
He's gone.
We know he's very quick. We'll see if he's wearing an LSU uniform next year. Greedy Williams will be. And then you can't have anything without Devin White. Second-team All-American by the Football Writers Association of America. And I can't say I've examined all the linebackers in the country, but if there's a lot of guys better than him, I got to see it. I mean, this dude
They keep
is
giving
incredible.
the kid from Georgia all the accolades.
Well, no, he should get.
He's terrific. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad for Devin White that he didn't get all these accolades from everyone, because that means a motivated Devin White for next year. And if I'm guessing, he's going to be at the top of the charts on everybody's list next year.
Yeah, and he will be a Tiger next year.
Yep.
He's not eligible to head off to the draft. So I can promise you LSU fans, you're going to be glad to have Greedy Williams and Devin White back on that side,
That's
especially
a pretty good start.
That guy in the middle. And then how about this award? The Scholar Athlete of the Year in the Southeastern Conference, Danny Etling. Now, they are student athletes, student being the operative word, and a huge compliment there and a tip of the hat to Danny Etling, because there's a lot of athletes in Southeastern Conference football, and he's a #1 scholar athlete.
I'm telling you, people keep talking about all the negatives of Danny Etling. Danny Etling was a heck of a college quarterback for LSU. I thought he had a great season. He's my offensive player of the year simply for the fact that he was there and he made things happen. I think LSU fans, look, they always harp on, he doesn't have an arm and he can't do all the things. Boy, he did a lot of good things for this team. So tip of the hat to you, Danny Etling.
If I had a vote for the LSU offensive MVP, I would vote Danny Etling. I wouldn't have to take very long to think about it at all, as long as it took me to put his name down or to check the old box.
I'm with you 100%.
A job well done, and obviously a chance to win 10 games if they can beat Notre Dame on January 1. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with more. I might give you a little basketball, a little Will Wade. All of that's ahead on Tigers Roar. Jordy Hultberg, Tommy Chrysan, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, all over the world on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com. Stay with us.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 800-383-8177. 800-383-8177.
Hooper Road Car Care in Central has been serving customers for over 24 years. Locally owned by Donald and Gina Gaspard, they provide all types of car care, including brakes, alignment, tune-ups, oil changes, AC service, transmission, computer diagnostic, and much more. Hooper Road Car Care also provides towing services. Call 225-262-7127. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, 9695 Hooper Road in Central.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a formal affair.
My name's Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
We continue with Tigers Roar here on Pelican Sports TV. We remind you the original airing each week's a Wednesday night. If you're catching it Thursday, Friday, Saturday on Pelican Sports TV or the ETEL cable system, you've got a rebroadcast going, or on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. LSU basketball tangling with Houston as we speak. Do not have a final score for you as of yet. But we do have Will Wade, the Tiger basketball coach from a couple of days ago, talking about his basketball team and what he's learned about them through the early part of the season. Here's Tiger basketball coach Will Wade.
Fire away. What we got?
Coach, a little break for your team. Obviously leading up to your first year. What's the point of emphasis with this team now? You have a few games under your belt, a little time away from the court, obviously a game action. What's the point of emphasis for you guys right now, or for you going forward?
Well, we try to give our guys a little bit of time to rest. We've taken quite a few days off. We've taken 3 or 4 days off, knowing we've got a pretty big stretch coming up here, moving forward, and so try to give our guys a little bit of time to rest and relax, and just work on our basic base defensive concepts is what we spent the most time working on the last week or so.
Yeah, I think when we talked before, is you wanted to get that victory to get to this stretch, to maybe have another crack at it. So what did you learn in those first 5 games, or 6 games, that you wanted to kind of, is it still just defense like you said, or is there?
Oh, we've learned a lot. I mean, we see how we react in stressful situations. You don't know how guys are going to react, how guys are going to play, when the lights come on. So we've got a better idea who we can count on, who can do what in certain situations. And so, certainly we take that into account as we move forward here, and we try to make sure that we're putting guys in the right positions to be successful.
Positive surprises that you're able to play off of now that maybe you didn't expect when you were trying to set this thing up preseason?
Well, I mean, I think certainly we're pretty talented offensively. I think that's a real positive for us. I think our guys enjoy playing together. They share the ball well. Our assist numbers have been pretty good. So I think that's something that's good, and we'll carry. We'll carry through. I've been pleased with our guys. They're learning how to prepare for a game. I think we're preparing a lot better for games. I think we're pretty good when we have, we do basically a normal 2-day prep. And so today we'll start our prep for Wilmington. I think we're pretty good when we have our 2 full days of prep. I think our guys are able to carry over most of what we go over into the game. And so I think if we continue to do that, I think those are things that'll bode well for us as we move into conference play.
DeWalt and Trey said that you had no offense this week. Have you done that before for 5 days? Or?
I wouldn't say no offense.
They said no offense?
Yeah, pretty much no offense. Very little. Limited offense.
But that's been all week?
Yeah.
Have you ever done it that long stretch drastically?
No, I mean, I told our guys yesterday, this is where I'm a little bit dumbfounded. We've always been pretty good on defense wherever we've been, and I've never spent half as much time on defense as I have here. We've spent just an inordinate amount of time on our defense here, and we're still just not very good. And we haven't. I've never spent this much time. I bet our practice time's been 85-15 defense to offense since we started practice, and so we've just. The only way I know we just got to keep getting better at it. We just got to keep trying and keep going back and keep getting back to basics and keep doing it. So that's what we spent.
Are the concepts that much different? Is it something that a guy coming from a high school wouldn't have seen, or?
No, we've really. Our concepts are. We've made them the most basic we can make them. We were probably a little bit too. There's a little bit too much stuff early on, and now we've really dialed that back. So we're just trying to. You've got to give up something. So we've learned in those first 6 games what we're kind of willing to give up. Teams can beat us with some jump shots, and there's some things we're just gonna have to be willing to give up. So we've learned that, and now we've got to be able to enact that plan and force teams to beat us that way. And if they beat us that way, then so be it. We're just gonna have to shake their hand and move on.
So I guess what I'm wondering is it a physical or mental barrier that you're trying to
I think there's a little bit of both. I think, I don't think we're asking them to do anything they can't do physically. I think we're asking them to sustain a high level of play for probably quite a bit longer than they've done in the past, and I think that wears on them mentally as well.
Coach, specifically on defense, I asked Trey how he's progressed maybe in your short time together. He said it feels like he's getting better at the ball screens. He said y'all have been spending some time after practice together working on ball screens. I'm curious, how has he progressed in your eyes, and then also in terms of all your guards?
He made the mistake. Trey's a sharp kid, so he went back and watched like some clips of my team last year, and I had a really small little guard who's a very good player. He plays for the Milwaukee Bucks G League team, and he'll probably get called up on 10-day contracts back when. So how in the world did he get through all those ball screens? I said, well, good question, Trey. I said, he stayed after practice every day, and we did these drills for about 5-10 minutes after practice. And to Trey's credit, he said, I want to do that. And so we've been doing that, and I think he'll get, sometimes you don't want to ask questions if you don't want to know the answers to them, but I think he'll get, he wants to improve. He wants to be better. We have to be better at our point of attack defense. And it really starts with your point guard. And Trey really wants to be that guy to set the tone for our defense. And I think we're moving that way, moving in a direction where that can happen.
He was Samson update?
He's better. He's better. We've got progress for the first time in a while, so he's better.
Into the month? What are we looking at?
I don't know. We're going to have him reevaluated after the game on Sunday. Our team doctor will look at him Sunday night.
Not unlike Aaron Rodgers, where he's back and you're like, oh, this is much faster than expected.
We don't anticipate that. I mean, I don't. He doesn't wear a boot in practice anymore. I mean, so that's a positive step. But I don't anticipate anything will be much quicker than what we had talked about before.
Is he practicing? Or
No. He's on the side on a bike. He's on the bike.
He hasn't run all.
No, he can't run. I mean, he's on a bike. Yeah. But he's not in a boot. He's in a boot walking around campus, but he's not in a boot at practice.
You said Duop didn't start last game because Epps does a better job of hedging the ball screens. Have you seen improvement from Wap in the last week and a half on that?
He's getting better. We're going to kind of change our ball screen coverage up. I think we may be asking some guys to do some things maybe they can't do. And so, we've got to adjust a little bit to what we can do and make sure we're putting guys in the best positions.
Historically, at least statistically, your teams have been good at taking away the three-point shot. And this team hasn't been.
Yeah.
How do you fix that?
Yeah, I mean,
$1 million question.
We're teaching the same stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've always been top 20, top 30 in the country in three-point defense. That's kind of been the basis of our entire defense. And we're certainly not that. So we just got to keep hammering away at it. We've got to keep hammering away at it. Keep getting a little bit better at it.
Is that like a rebounding thing, where it's just a commitment to effort to do it all the time, up and down the court? I mean, you're talking about essentially just closing out, right? I mean,
No. The threes are, a lot of the threes come from point of attack defense where you get put in rotation and you get a wild close. The closeout's the last part that you see. But the issue that causes a closeout happens 2 or 3 plays before that, and that's where the bigger problem is. Once you get in a scramble situation, you get behind the play, it's over at that point. And so you just, are they going to drill it in your face? Or are you going to fly at the guy and fly by the guy and he's going to drive it in there and create something else in the paint? So the issue happens well before the 3 gets hit most of the time.
You're fighting through ball screens, like you said, manning up the guys, staying in front of them.
Correct. It all goes back to the point of attack there. Most of the issues, and communication.
You've been mixing up your rotations a lot, part by necessity. Is there a point in the season where you want to have more of a set number and kind of pattern of rotation, or is it something you read as you go?
Typically, we want to play 8 or 9 guys, but we got to find 8 or 9 guys we can play, who we feel comfortable with. So, you know, you'd like to settle in sooner rather than later, but we're certainly not settled right now. I mean, we're not. We just don't have a comfort level with that many guys. So we've got to, you know, I said this to our team yesterday. You know, we've got some of our guys who are pretty good on defense, you know, are pretty big liabilities on offense. And some of our guys who are pretty good offensively are pretty big liabilities on defense. We have very few guys that are two-way players or have any sort of just being solid on. So as a coach, you're mixing and matching. You've got to have a couple guys out there who can score. You got to have a guy out there who can maybe guard. I mean, so you're just mixing and matching a lot to fill everything. I mean, our most solid guy on offense and defense is Wade Sims. He's by far our most solid guy. You know, he doesn't wow you on offense, but he's always moving. He's always in the right place. He's got good feel. He knows what he's doing. Defensively, he's rarely out of position. He can see ahead of the play. He can communicate. He's our most solid guy, you know, on both ends, really, at this point. That's why he plays a lot, and that's why he's out there quite a bit. He's been out there to start most of the time. So, you know, we gotta have more guys that can do multiple things, I guess would be the best way to put it.
We continue with Tigers Roar again. LSU basketball tangling with Houston as we speak. Don't have a final score yet. Let's take a look at some of the upcoming games. Got some games coming up for the Tigers. They're on a little bit of a homestand, if you will, over at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. The match with Houston right now this Saturday afternoon. Stephen F. Austin, who's always a very good team. Sam Houston State. That's a couple of Southland Conference teams that are very, very good. Tigers sitting at 5-2. The tough one tangling with Houston and Coach Kelvin Sampson right now as we speak. We'll take a break, come back. We got some more comments from Will Wade, trying to get you in that basketball mood, that basketball spirit, right? Be interesting to see how many fans show up. Conference play not that far away, and I do want to point out, once we get to conference play, on WUBR, on Pelican Sports Radio, we're going to have a contest to give away tickets to the ball game. Compliments to the ownership of Pelican Broadcasting. You'll also get coupons to the Bon Temps Buffet at the LeBears Casino and Hotel Baton Rouge. We've been doing that for many years in both football and basketball, for the home games in football, the home conference games in basketball. So that means you got to be tuned to Pelican Sports Radio. Give yourself a chance to win a couple of tickets and coupons to the Bon Temps Buffet at the LeBears Casino and Hotel Baton Rouge. We'll come back with more and more of Will Wade right after this pause on Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us.
Surfing through the channels with his little remote, wolfing down Cheetos. I hope he don't choke between Monday night football and Friday night fights. I'm lucky if I get to see a show that I like. He never hears the phone or the doorbell ring. I don't try to understand him. It's a male thing.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Woodburners, serving South Louisiana since 1977, is a family-owned and operated company with over 30 years of experience. They're the fireplace experts, providing upscale products at an affordable price. Fireplaces, glass doors, wood stoves and stove chimneys, mantles, screens, gas logs, and tool sets. Visit online at woodburnersinc.com. Call 225-752-2590 or stop by 10510 Airline Highway in Baton Rouge.
6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm back. Roger Cador here. Come watch Clarence Bugs and I as we team up to bring up all of the positive things taking place at Southern University in the state of Louisiana. It can all be seen on the Pelican Sports. That's the best one. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's the best one.
My name is Dr. Nicole Rogers, and I'm here in Old Metairie, Louisiana at Hair Restoration of the South, where your hair is our care. And I'd like to invite you to come and visit and discuss various options for treatment of thinning hair. These can include both medical and surgical options. You don't have to go straight to surgery. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, hairrestorationofthesouth.com, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Cypress Lake Apartments are conveniently located off Segan Lane in Baton Rouge, a CLK multifamily management property. Come see this community, which has many amenities including swimming pools, fitness room, playground, and much more. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Stop by Cypress Lake Apartments, call 225-293-6789, or go online, live at cypresslakeapts.com. With Tigers Roar, I'm Tommy Krysan. Appreciate you tuning in, and once again, Merry Christmas to one and all out there. Hopefully it's a wonderful Christmas season for you and your family and your friends, and then of course, Happy New Year. Hope 2018 is everything you want it to be. We've got more of Will Wade after the most recent victory by the Tigers against North Carolina Wilmington. Here again is LSU basketball coach Will Wade.
You ready?
Hey guys.
Okay. Thought it was a good win. You know, funky things happen coming out of exams, so I thought our guys handled business, took care of business. I thought Darrell Edwards changed the game in the second half. His little run when he came in, not only offensively, the 4-point play was huge. But he made a great cross-court pass the next possession to Skyler for an open 3, and he did a good job guarding Tally during that time as well. So. Really proud of Darrell. We wanted to establish WAP inside early on. We knew we were going to get some one-on-one post coverage in there. WAP did a good job keeping balance and being able to score the ball. So all in all, we'll take it, good win, and we're going to have to get a lot. We're going to play a lot better on Wednesday when we play Houston. We'll be the best team we've played since we played Notre Dame. Perfect.
We could ask you the same question we ask every time, but second half defense obviously not where you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, we were better today defensively. They hit some tough shots. They're a really good offensive team. I mean, our guys stuck to the game plan. You're going to have to give up something, and so we were going to give up some. You know, they hit some threes when we went underneath some screens. I mean, they're a good offensive team. So I'm more concerned that our turnover numbers are too high. That's starting to become a trend for us on offense. We shoot 59% from the field. If we could just get more shots on the basket, that'll certainly help. So, we've made a habit though of, Tally's going to get his, but like Jaquel Richmond, he's a good player now. He transferred from Mills. He's a good player. But we've made a habit of some of these games of letting some of these secondary guys really go off, which is something that we need to do a better job of.
How much did the game plan change when K-Cop didn't start?
I mean, we were going to go inside. We were going to try to get him in foul trouble. I mean, I think he got fouled 4 times in the second half, right? 4 fouls in the second. I mean, we were going to try to go inside and go at him and get him in foul trouble. So I don't think it changed drastically. I mean, obviously he's a physical, really, really good player down there. So it changed a little bit in the sense that they played smaller than they typically do. They didn't play the 2 bigs down there, which we kind of game plan for the 2 bigs and helping off the 1 big on K-Cop, and we weren't quite able to do that. So it changed a little bit. We probably had to play our smaller lineup a little bit more than we thought we were going to have to going in.
But your defense on him, you were planning on having that guy down low?
Yeah, I mean, we were going to game plan to stop him. Yeah, he's a really good player. I mean, stop him's all relative. He's a good player. He's going to get a lot of points and rebound the ball. He's a very, very good player.
It was obviously part of the game plan to get a lot of touches, but did you like the way that he responded to that?
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I mean, he shot 13 for 17, so we'll take that. You know, he's been working on those trail threes, so I told him beforehand, like, you put in the work, you need to let him fly. Sims has worked so hard on his threes the last 10 days. I thought he got great looks. He stuck that first one. I told the staff before the game, I said, I got a feeling he's going to hit 3 of them tonight. And he stuck that first one, then he had 2 or 3 go in and out. But his is coming too. I mean, we shot 42% from 3, so we took better threes tonight. I thought we took good threes. I think maybe only 1 or 2 bad shots. We talked about our shot selection a lot.
Coach, when Duop's able to score inside like that consistently, do you think that's worthy enough to draw double teams, and what kind of offense?
Yeah, I mean, they double teamed him. That's how Darryl got his first 3. We skipped it opposite off that double team, little crush play that we had it in because we thought teams would maybe double him, so we had it in, we dusted it off, and they did a good job executing that. So that's what you want. I mean, whether you set a on-ball screen and you get 2 on the ball, or whether you throw it in the post and you get 2 on the ball, you want 2 on the ball so you can play 4 on 3 everywhere else. And, you know, we've just got to be able to make plays when we do that. I thought Watt did a good job passing it out today 2 or 3 times. We got the foul on Sims when he was diving to the front of the rim, so I thought he did a nice job.
One more on Duop, Coach. You talked about his ability to trail. How about his ability to roll into the basket when Trey creates?
Yeah, he does a good job. You know, you've got to keep going with Trey because he's going to flick it behind. You know, he's going to find you. So you got to keep rolling. Thought he did a good job sealing in transition today. We were able to get it to him in transition a little bit. He did a good job on our misdirection stuff, setting up the seals. So we would set it up and we were able to throw it back in. So I was pleased overall with how he played. He did a good job. It's not easy when you got a post player going like that. It's a little easier to get guards looks. It's not as easy to keep feeding a post player and keep being able to get the ball inside, but we were able to do that. And that was a credit to Wop and him sealing and getting position. And then our guards were looking for him.
Duop's not exactly the classic microwave guy off the bench. I mean, do you see him keeping that role, or is it going to be game by game mode at the start?
Well, I don't think. I mean, he played 27 minutes. So, I mean, I don't think whether you start. I mean, I'm not sure how big of a deal that is. If you ask me, would rather come off the bench and play 27 minutes and score 30 points, or start and play 17 minutes and score 6 points, he would probably take the latter.
Trey almost had a triple-double, but he's kind of disappointed with the 7 turnovers, as I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I mean, Trey played well. You know, I got to go back and look at the turnover. The one where he threw it behind his head was probably not the best decision. But, I mean, for the most part, we got to live with with what he's. You know, what he does. He did a lot of really good things. I mean, that play late in the shot clock there, late in the game was, I mean, can't coach that. So, you know, he does a lot of really, really good things with the ball. I was hoping he missed that rebound there at the end. I was hoping he kind of grabbed that rebound there at the end, but that's the way it goes.
He also kind of had a stretch there after your tech where he
yeah, I told our guys, I can't say anything about the tech, but I thought our guys did a good, our guys said, we got you. They did a good job picking it up, and I think the lead stretched from 6 to 8 points to about 16 points right there. So I thought our guys did a good job of picking it up. It shows we got a connected team, a team that cares. And I was proud of those guys. I know Trey was out there, Rochelle was out there, that sort of thing.
Coach Trey talked about before the game, part of the game plan was this 40 deflections thing. Can you talk about, is that a product of active hands?
Yeah, it's a product of activity, and we didn't get 40 deflections today. Yeah, it's a product of activity and playing hard and having active hands and being in the right position. We were helping from the wrong place late in the game, which gave them some threes. But they're a good team. They're going to win a lot of games in the Colonial. They got a good team. Anytime you get a good guard and a good big like that, those are 2 all-league players they've got in the CAA, and so they're going to be a good team. And anytime you overhelp like that, they're going to make you pay, which they did.
Can you see whether you earned that one, or have you gotten away with more?
I would say I didn't earn that one.
Anything else?
Trying to stay out of the crosshairs here.
You wish them Merry Christmas.
See you all Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, what we got Tuesday?
That's a media. Yeah, do media Tuesday.
I'll see you Tuesday.
Coach Will Wade mixing it up with the media right there. And again, they got several home games through the holiday season. Conference play will be right after the first of the year. Tough opening 3 games in conference play with Kentucky, Arkansas, and Texas A&M. So we're going to take a break. We come back. We got a couple of players. Trey Waters has emerged as an outstanding freshman. Duop Reed, big night points-wise and rebounds, doing very well for the Tigers. We'll take a break, come back, let you hear from a couple of those Tiger basketball players right after this pause on Pelican Sports TV. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Facebook page is Pelican Broadcasting. Twitter account is @Pelican Sports. And, of course, YouTube.com/Pelican Broadcasting, where you can watch a lot of our stuff at your convenience. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 800-383-8177. 800-383-8177.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, Hardy Plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Acord Eye Clinic Vision Source is located on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, offering full-service optical and lab work. Dr. Shonda Acord and the professionally trained staff pride themselves on service, complete eye exams, help with contact lenses, and selection of frames featuring Silhouette, Gucci, Jimmy Choo, and all the top lines. State-of-the-art equipment including OptiMap, which digitally photographs your retina. Call Acord Eye Clinic for an appointment. 225-767-3937. That's 225-767-3937. Visit the website, visionsource-br.com. All patients of all ages are welcome. Acord Eye Clinic, Vision Source. with Tigers Roar here on Pelican Sports TV. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Facebook page is Pelican Broadcasting. Twitter account is @Pelican Sports. Now, we've heard from Coach Will Wade a couple of times, and a lot of new guys on the roster, including Trey Waters, returning guy Duop Reith, both having significant performances for the Tigers through the first 7 games, and tangling with Houston tonight as we speak. Here's a couple of interviews after the win over Wilmington, including Trey Waters and Duop Reith, Tiger basketball.
That was part of our game plan, because just the way to defend the post is like they're just kind of a little bit softer. They don't really dig and don't front the post.
Yeah, and they seem to go one-on-one with you a lot, particularly early.
Post, yeah.
When you see a defense that's going one-on-one with you and letting you get to your little jump hook, what goes through your mind?
It's going to be a long night for them. Yeah, that one-on-one is. Yeah.
Can you put a finger on the second half defensive issues that y'all have had over the last couple of games? I think they got like 48 tonight. Is it just you get a big lead and you kind of let up, or is it Skyler mentioned communication? Can you pinpoint anything there?
Focus, just staying focused for the whole 40 minutes. We have lapses where we lack focus.
Y'all had a little spurt there to close the first half after Will got his technical. I mean, did that breathe any life into you guys, or what did you see?
Yeah, we don't know why he got that technical. So it was Trey. Trey just pretty much just wanted to play a little more faster. He sped the game up. That's his game. So we just told him, hey, keep doing it.
7 to 16 pretty quickly, and you seem to kind of take over. What happened in that stretch from your perspective?
I would have to say that was around the time when Coach Wade got the technical.
Yeah.
So we knew we had to come together, because with our coach getting technical, obviously he was going to be a little out of sync. So we had to just come back and just play harder in those last 6 minutes, and we always work on it in practice. Pretty much called a 6-minute game.
Yeah.
He doesn't practice him. That's what we always work on, so we knew what we had to do.
That was that's after you got called for a charge, right?
Yeah, it was.
How difficult can it be to not get frustrated when something like that happens and sort of be able to sit back and let the coach kind of blow off the steam for you?
Obviously he has my back, so we had to come together and walk over there and just talk to him. But it's basketball. Refs aren't going to always make great calls, and we know that, so we had to just, that's when we come together more instead of breaking off and pointing the finger. So
I think you finished maybe a rebound shy of a triple-double. Did you have any idea that you were close, just your all-around contribution?
Yeah, everyone was telling me, but I just came up short.
Couldn't get that last rebound.
Couldn't get the last rebound.
You should have just gone and missed on purpose and then got the rebound.
Mess up my shooting percentage.
The thing that you're probably not happy about is the 7 turnovers. What would you see on that end? I mean, a couple of them were offensive fouls that were maybe questionable calls, but what would you see on that end?
I was trying to get the ball out of my hands too quick tonight. Like when I threw in a doo-wop straight to the other team, there were 2 people on them. I don't know what happened. I was just trying to get the ball out of my hands too fast, which I should never want to do.
Is that a thing that happens after not playing in 11 days, 12 days, however long it's been?
I don't want to use that and fall back on that, because I've been playing basketball all my life, so I should know how to manage the game and protect the ball. So that's all on me.
But y'all didn't feel rusty at all? You didn't feel rusty at all?
No, I feel like we've been going hard in practice. So in our scout team, they've been doing a great job of executing other teams' plays, obviously. And we've just been doing a lot of conditioning and running in practice, so I felt like we were fine.
Speaking of Duop, he had a career night. I think he finished with 30 or 31. With Kaycock not starting and Duop getting in pretty quickly off the bench, was there a point of emphasis to just pound the ball inside to him and let him do work?
Yeah, after we saw that he made about 4 or 5 jump hooks in the first half, we knew that we just had to throw the ball into him, do whatever action we need to do, just get him the ball.
Yeah. Were you surprised that they weren't doubling him earlier? I mean, they did eventually, but there's like 6 or 7 in a row where they didn't double him at all. Did that surprise you?
Excuse me. I think they didn't expect him. Like, I expect him to play that way, but I don't think they expected him to do that out gate. So when he started to do it, I think they adjusted and we had to adjust.
So don't forget to check out that Tiger basketball team on the hardwood Many games coming up in the coming weeks. Go to the LSU Sports website. Obviously, everything at your fingertips right there. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to shift gears back into football. Yeah, the Sugar Bowl this year, that's a big one. It's one of the national semifinal playoff games. Again, there's a rotation for that. You'll have the Rose Bowl that Monday afternoon, followed by the Sugar Bowl. Should be packed. Should be a tough ticket. Alabama-Clemson. We'll come back and preview that game for you. Get you ready, set for that after this pause on Tigers Roar. Spread the roar. Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Jordy Helper for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a Formal Affair.
My name is Raven. I work at Debbie's Bridal, and she makes your dreams come true.
6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm back. Roger Cador here. Come watch Clarence Bugs and I as we team up to bring up all of the positive things taking place at Southern University in the state of Louisiana. It can all be seen on the Pelican Sports. That's the best one. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's the best one.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Continue with Tigers Roar, and as I mentioned, the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. I can remember as a kid growing up in the city, man, the Sugar Bowl was a big thing. The fans from both teams. They'd fill up the French Quarter when I got a little older and I could hang out in the French Quarter. It was always a cool thing. And as we are now in the 4th year of the college football playoff system, there's a rotation among the major bowls. And the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans this year sits in on the rotation. It's a semifinal game. That's on Monday, January 1, just like LSU at noon that day. The Rose Bowl and then the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. And it's Clemson, Alabama. These teams have met in the playoffs before. We all know the story. Alabama's a slight favorite. Wise guys have them about a 2.5 point favorite, depending on where you shop. That'll be a playoff semifinal down in New Orleans. Will probably be a pretty tough ticket to get a hold of that one down in New Orleans. We've got a preview for you. We want to get you ready, set for that. A lot of folks starting to talk about it, even though the teams aren't in town yet. It's going to be a big thing, national semifinal. Here's a preview of Clemson and Alabama.
The national title in year 2 of the playoff. Fought for tonight in the desert. A strike and a touchdown again. It's Renfro. Look out. Kenyon Drake can fly. Touchdown Drake.
Alabama Crimson Tide is the champion of college football.
Could we get a smile? How about now?
You got it, baby. You got it. And the sequel equal last year's classic.
Here's Hurts again. Freshman sensation. Can you believe that? 2 yards away from glory. Watson to the end zone. They did it. Oh, about that.
Clemson paints the college football world orange. Clemson is declared kings of college football and national champs.
Clemson now been waiting 35 years. It's finally coming home, baby. It's coming home.
Let's take a look at Clemson and Alabama, the road to Atlanta, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. These teams, obviously familiar foes, having met the national championship each of the last 2 years. Bama, Clemson, 3. The rubber match, the combined scores of those two games, by the way, 76-75 in favor of Alabama. We hear from both head coaches first. Dabo with Reese.
Oh, man, excited. I think that obviously they had a lot to consider from a committee standpoint, but they put the 4 best teams in there. I mean, Alabama has been the standard for a long time, and, we've had obviously a couple huge battles with them, but excited about it. It's been 25 years since I've been to the Sugar Bowl, and it was with Alabama at that time. So I think it's only fitting to have a chance to advance to Atlanta. You got a heavyweight matchup here with Clemson, Alabama, and, we'll be excited about it. It'll be a great matchup.
I think that they're still a very explosive offense. They still have lots of good receivers, weapons, skilled players who can make plays, and I think Kelly Bryant is very capable of making plays. He's a different style player, but certainly capable of making explosive plays. But I think when you think about Clemson, you got to start with what a great defense, what a great front 7 that they have, and how well they played all year. They're well coached, and they really do a good job up front. There'll be a challenge for us to be able to effectively move the ball against them. So when you play a team like this, you got to win offense, defense, special teams. You got to do a great job in all areas to have a chance to be successful.
Well, there's certainly no shortage of star power. Bama and Clemson, part 3. Of all the matchups, Booger, which one's the one you're most keyed up to see?
Well, I want to see this Clemson offensive line against the Bama defensive line because I think that's where Clemson can have an edge. Obviously, this game has a little different feel in the last couple of years. We came into this game the last few years saying, can Clemson compete with Alabama, this big, bad defense? Things are flipped now, guys. Clemson's the favorite. Can Alabama compete? Can Jalen Hurts score enough points? I think it's going to be a different feel going into the game.
Are they really the favorite?
I think they are. I think they are. Vegas may have Bama as the favorite. But Clemson has been the best football team when they're healthy all season long. I would pick them right now today to beat Alabama, and it's because they're complete. Offensively, their defensive line, McShay, I think, is the single best group in college football. When they play to their standard, they got 4 guys that are at least going to top 2 rounds. They can control a football game. I love what they do, but I want to see the offensive line of Alabama against that Clemson defensive line and both lines.
I'm going with Booger over Las Vegas.
Okay.
That's always a safe bet.
The booger line.
No question.
I want to see the secondary of Clemson a little banged up this year. Can Hurts take advantage of it, though? That's the question. You've got Calvin Ridley. You got some talent at wideout. Can they find a way to throw the ball down the field and exploit the coverage for Clemson? Because it has not been what we've seen in years past. And I think if they're able to protect, or if Hurts can run around and create some extra time, extend some plays, then you have an opportunity maybe to take some shots down the field. But it has not been consistent, being nice right now, but it has not been a strength of Alabama's. Let's put it that way.
Jalen Hurts, again, at times coaches see him and you go, this guy's unbelievable. And other times you go, all right, could have used a little bit more of that, especially against Auburn.
Well, you look at last year's game, really nearly lost 2 years ago, but lost last year because they couldn't get the ball. Couldn't keep the ball, got tired on defense.
And he scored late in the game, by the way, to give him the ball, and his defense needed to make a stand. He did his part at the end.
Well, and Alabama's thinner this year on defense than they were last year. They're not as good this year on defense as they were last year. But it's really hard to run against the Clemson defensive front. And if they can't, I agree with Todd, Jalen Hurts is going to have to play his best game of throwing the ball downfield and beating some man coverage to win the game.
And I think on the other side, I want to see the guys that I haven't seen this year for Alabama, the injured linebackers. I want to see them come back and rush the passer, because now they'll have a chance to get in shape over the bowl season. And when they harassed Francois in the first game of the season, you were like, oh, that looked really good. Now, Francois' offensive line was less than stellar and has been for no less than 5 years now, it seems like. But so those guys, can they come back and make an impact? Because I'll say this defense doesn't hold a candle to the last 2 years' defense. Right. Clemson's offense doesn't hold a candle to what it used to look like either. So it's kind of like which strength has gotten worse or been weakened the most to decide the ballgame.
I just feel like when Clemson looks dominant, though, they're unbelievable. Like that game against Miami yesterday, on all facets, they just demolished them. I don't see that happening against Alabama, but I'm with you. That's why
Is it fair to say that we kind of knew that was coming, though, with Miami? Because Miami kind of looked like they were at the edge of the cliff and ready to fall.
You know,
Virginia, they struggled.
Right.
Pitt, they couldn't get it done.
Georgia Tech.
Turnover chain.
Exactly. It's funny you say it about Clemson. I think Clemson, although they are not the same as they were with Deshaun Watson, I think they're a better running football team now. And part of that's because of the quarterback and what they do with the design runs with him. Now, he can't throw it as good as Deshaun Watson yet, but they do have weapons. Ray McLeod, Deion Kane on the outside. They can get go routes. But Kelly Bryant, man, Kelly Bryant running the football is like a tailback in the backfield. He's what Jalen Hurts is to Alabama. He's that to Clemson. And Dabo's not afraid to call design run. No. And the reason you do it is because you get an extra man. You get an extra man advantage running your quarterback. That may be where they have an advantage. Alabama is known for a great run defense.
Yeah.
Like in November, they're giving up 150 yards a game on the ground against the run. And if I'm Clemson, I'm going to test Christian Miller. I'm going to test those guys and see if they're ready to step up and see if they're healthy.
The only argument I would say to that is last year, the reason that offense was ridiculous because it was Wayne Gallman, Deshaun Watson, and the passing game. Who's the
Mike
back?
Williams making ridiculous plays.
Who's the back you fear on this offense?
You don't fear him, but he's making plays.
No, first of all, I do fear him when he gets the ball. Yeah. He can't pass block. I mean, go ahead and put that in a box over here because that's not happening. Right. So they become very predictable with him. They just don't have the running game last year was so hard to defend when Watson's doing this in the red zone and you had the QB ISO and all that stuff to look at and just the jet sweep on top of that. There's so many options. I don't feel like there's a back that I fear with Clemson. So I think the running game's a little bit less potent than it was a year ago.
Well, and it'd be interesting to hear, Todd. To me, when Clemson walks out this year, they're going to look more like Alabama than they have the last 2 years. Because Clemson looks like a really good football team now. Before, they had some good players, and now linemen, everybody looks alike. And when you start looking at that, the pressure's going to be a little bit more on Clemson because Alabama's playing the underdog role, got the chip on the shoulder. They didn't even want to send guys. They don't think we should be here. This
lost to them a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on. I mean,
so Coach Saban's got the perfect edge to create. And Dabo's the best at saying, we're not very good. It's hard to say that.
But when does Nick ever get to do this?
No. Very rarely.
Ever.
He can legitimately play the card.
Legitimately play the card, yes.
And the other thing, if you look at it, the offensive family that has given Alabama trouble has been that Hugh Freeze, Gus Malzahn, Chad Morris, and that's this offense. Now, it's a different quarterback. So can Kelly Bryant do some of the things that have given them problems that those other great quarterbacks have done at those three places that have beaten them?
And on the other side of the ball, there was one player who left the game last year, and if he didn't leave the game, I thought Alabama was going to win. That was Bo Scarborough. Now, he has not been the same this year.
Then they couldn't move the ball.
They're not using him as much. And, you have to wonder if he's just not physically as healthy as he was. Damien Harris has run well. But can Scarborough, with a little bit of time and gearing up for this one last game, can he be that impact back? Because he was the MVP of Alabama.
Do you think he's their best back, Scarborough?
Right now?
In general, do you think he's their best back?
I think Harris has been a better back this year. Right. But I just wonder if this is the time, with a little bit of time to get ready for this game, if he's going to have a coming out party.
Harris looks like Michael Turner to me.
Well, Alabama likes to line up and just gnarl you. I mean, just gnarl you.
How do you spell that?
Yeah. Oh, no.
G-N-W.
You get it.
W
and then they throw some play action.
Right.
If you start running it and they start throwing them back at you now, I've done that. It's not fun. So they've got to be able to run the ball.
Can you imitate at one point, Coach? Just give us a good gnarling face. Like whatever
Wow. You can tell it's late. It's late.
Gnarly. Max never going to That's why he's a gamer. Whatever you need from the coach. All right.
When you look out there and yours are going in and they're coming out faster and they're going in, it ain't good.
It's going to be a fun time in my hometown of New Orleans for that Sugar Bowl, and of course we'll talk about it more on both radio and TV as we get closer to it, but it's really not that far away. Now, on January 1, again, we remind you, LSU Notre Dame in the Citrus Bowl. Now, it's a 1 o'clock kick in Orlando, 12 o'clock if you're going to be here in Louisiana watching it on the TV screen. Notre Dame, LSU. LSU a slight favorite in the game. We'll see if that changes. Arden Key, Donnie Alexander missed the first bowl practice. Darius Geis supposed to be good to go. Coach Orgeron says they're going to prepare and go after that game with the intent of winning the game. Yeah, they're trying to accomplish some other things in these practices, but they were going down to Orlando to try to win the game. Now, all season long, we had the Pelican Sports post-game show for you immediately following LSU football with Buddy Sanji and myself, with the idea of it being January 1 and the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. We will move the post-game show to Wednesday night, January 3, and we're going to do a combo post-game Tigers Roar. So in that Wednesday night slot from 8 to 10, when you normally get Tigers Roar, you'll get the Pelican Sports post-game show. We'll take phone calls. We'll take the text messages. We'll get some reports, not from the stadium because the game will be over. We'll get some contributions. We'll get a recruiting update with Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com as well. So just put that on the calendar. Wednesday night, January 3, 8 p.m., taking the phone calls, taking the text messages about the LSU Notre Dame game, and I guess we'll talk semifinals. The finals will be set by that time for the national championship the following Monday on the 8th over in Atlanta. So just a little programming note for you there. And don't forget WUBR Radio this Saturday morning. Carlos Brown will go 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. He'll be in Atlanta getting ready for the Celebration Bowl, Grambling State versus North Carolina A&T. Carlos on the clock, sliding 8 a.m., 10 a.m. this Saturday. Please make a note of that, and don't forget to get the app, WUBR, and take us with you wherever you may go. Christmas music being played on the weeknights through the evening from the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame radio, hosted by Mike Shepard. A lot of Louisiana Christmas-type music happening through the night. Get you in the mood. And again, on behalf of everybody at Pelican, we wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas and hope 2018 is a great year. Backing it up, I want to thank Mike Scarborough of TigerBait.com for joining us earlier in the program. Get all the latest at TigerBait.com. Once again, on behalf of everybody at the Pelican Broadcasting, it takes a lot of people to put this show together. We appreciate you watching, catching it on YouTube, whatever you might do. I'm Tommy Christ saying Merry Christmas from Pelican Broadcasting.
Is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm back. Roger Cador here. Come watch Clarence Bugs and I as we team up to bring up all of the positive things taking place at Southern University in the state of Louisiana. It can all be seen on the Pelican Sports. That's the best one. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That's the best one.